First like given. Let's go. Hello, hello. Welcome everyone. How's everyone doing? Sandeep, Evil, Justin, Paul, Lo-Fi Lover. Damn, sounds like a good stream for you if you love lo-fi. Zit je nog in Portugal? Nope. I came back yesterday morning. So back home, back in the markets. Feels good to be back. How are you all doing? Some exciting price action developing. I have some clean plans, so should be a good live stream. Can everyone hear me, by the way? Just to make sure, can everyone see at the moment the X page and are the volumes okay? The mic volume and the music volume. Loud and clear. Perfect. What's good? Zalekis. Frank. You are perfectly audible and visible. Damn, how do I look? Great setup for a short. Yeah, maybe. I'm not shorting here because of high time frame structure and reclaiming the monthly open. But I definitely, well, I just closed my longs up here around Monday high. So I could definitely see a sort of rotation back towards Monday low. And I think that would only be the healthy thing. Everyone was bullish again at the highs here, targeting higher. For me personally, would only make sense and would be a good thing if we want to target higher to first see a little bit lower. Clean up the chart a bit lower. But anyways, we'll go in depth in a second. Just waiting a couple minutes to let some people in so some more people can join. Already have 60 people here. That's amazing. So let's see. You look good. Thanks. Lucky and Tar are leaning bearish. I have no clue who those people are, but good for them. I want to ask you, please, what's your advice? 300k portfolio right now. Who got all in USDT? Just all in a meme coin, bro. Nah, I'm joking. It's difficult, man. Depends on a lot more than just the amount you have in USDT, you know. Depends on what your net worth is. If you have money in other things, you can be a little more aggressive. If that's all you have, you should be a bit more cautious. All right, we will start. So I'll start off by giving by talking quickly a little bit about the Discord. We've made some changes this morning. Well, not this morning, like an hour ago. There's been a new role for the Discord members. I've added bots that can check who is trading on my link. Until now we had like 3,000 people in the Discord, something like that, but it was fairly inactive, and a lot of people were just watching. So I just wanted to clear that up a bit, made a new role. You can, if you're trading on my Blowfin link, you can just enter your UID, and if you've made a deposit, you get the role and you can see all the channels, okay? Should make the Discord a little bit more active again, more talking in the channels. Of course, I will continue to post updates and continue to trade the 10K account that we've been trading for the last few months, which is currently sitting at 72,500. As you can see here, I just tweeted about it as well. The highest we got was 91K. So yeah, trying to run that up to 100K as a first target, then we'll see what we do, but probably we'll just continue doing what we do. What else can I say? We will be doing Discord live streams as well. I will be posting exclusive content in there, so it's definitely worth joining. We will be doing giveaways as well. You can get benefits if you use the Blowfin link, as you can see right here, up to $100,000 in futures bonus, depending on how much you deposit and what your volume is, of course. So yeah, definitely worth checking it out. If you want to join the hunt, my Discord group, head over to the description. There's a link. Click that. If you have any questions, just send me a DM. Okay. So big thanks to Blowfin for sponsoring the stream. If you enjoy the stream, leave a like. That helps me to grow on YouTube, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Helps me grow as well. And yeah, let's talk about the markets now, quickly. Well, not quickly. Let's go in depth. We've got a lot to cover here. A lot of plans played out from the lows, but now we're in a tricky position, in my opinion. So let's go over it. Tried reaching out to you on Twitter. Normally the link in the description should work. All right, cool. So the video, well, the live stream will be viewable after the stream, just for information, right? So if you want to rewatch, you will be able to. Right, Bitcoin. So let's quickly, what is all of this? Let's hide Monday high and Monday low. These as well, and this one as well. Right, so the levels I've been working with lately, and the levels that give you a clean view on the higher time frames are just monthly levels, right? If you go to the monthly, what levels are going to be key? Well, just from the past couple candles, it's February high, February low, March high and March low, and of course the monthly open, right? As you can see, we've swept February low and March low. We have an unswept February high and March high, and we broke back above the monthly open. Only those things on the monthly already give you a clean view of where the market is most likely to trade next. And in my opinion, that is towards some highs. Why? Because high time frame liquidity has been swept. Market structure is still bullish on the monthly, right? If you just look at it, low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, and now hopefully a rounded bottom again into a higher low that leads to a higher high. Okay, so am I straight up targeting new all-time highs? Maybe not. There's a lot in between here and the all-time highs, but market structure on the high time frame, in my opinion, is still bullish. Okay, basic SR, right? If this was resistance, well, then we just flipped it into support. It's unlikely that we're just gonna do this, right? Break below and straight up trade to 40K, right? We actually slightly front ran the level, so that's a good sign as well. Usually you don't get those perfect retests. Instead, we swept liquidity, high time frame liquidity, front ran the level, and saw a very good reaction. Okay, so this this monthly candle obviously still has to close, but if it closes anywhere above the monthly open, that would be a good sign for higher, in my opinion. At least if we don't, for example, trade all the way to March high or February high and close ugly down here. But that's unlikely, right? Still 2 weeks to go for the close, so let's see how that goes. But if we close anywhere where we're trading at right now, that's a good sign in my opinion, and I will be targeting higher. Okay. Then, so that those are monthly levels. Moving over to the weekly, and that's a little bit of a different story. Why? Because I mean, you can immediately see it if you head over to the weekly. What happened after the weekly close, and what happened? Sorry, to a lot of charts. We pumped straight from the open, right? That doesn't necessarily mean that it's bearish or anything, but that it just looks ugly, and it has a high chance that prices trade back towards those flat bottoms. Okay, so as you can see right here, flat weekly low. Let's mark that out. And as I've said multiple times before, there's two ways of sort of seeing this. Either what you get, so if you have a flat bottom and you run and you pump, right, you sweep some lower time frame liquidity, and then price comes close to there again, and then it's very likely that you'll sweep that flat weekly low, or price just straight up runs away from it and closes very strong. So two chances right here, right? If price starts running and closes this week above 91 to 92k or even higher maybe, that sort of concept or target as the flat weekly low is invalidated. But as long as we trade close to last week's high, right, which is the level right here, let's mark it out as well, last week's high, as long as we trade close to this area, right, or you get some more sweeps in here, but you trade here, it's still likely, in my opinion, that the lower time frame draw will be towards that flat weekly low. And having that in mind, that's the main reason why I got cautious, and why I think that most charts could use some downside here first in the week, early in the week, sorry, simply to look better during the later part of the week, right? If we make that wick, I mean, you can draw it and you will see. Right? If the chart would look like this, I think we can all agree that it looks way more healthy like this and has a higher chance of then pumping towards 90k, 95, maybe even higher than a chart that looks like this, right? So pumping from the open, not ideal. A lot of charts have those ugly weekly charts, which is why I think that this could just be a trap, taking low time frame liquidity higher towards low time frame liquidity higher towards high time frame liquidity higher again. Okay, so now we have our monthly bias, right? So looking for longs, lower time frames, so weekly and daily, I would say a little bit lower first would just be healthy. Okay, that doesn't mean you have to short, obviously. It's not because you're looking for a retrace that you have to trade it, that you have to short it. It's not because you think that prices are gonna run higher that you have to long everything, right? It's just observing, being cautious, and especially being ready when prices do what you want them to do, to be ready to execute a trade. Okay, so on the daily, some more important levels, obviously Monday high and Monday low, which we have right here. Monday low lining up beautifully, well, lining up with the flat weekly low. So that would only be more confluence, right? That we trade towards lower time frame liquidity lower first to fix that weekly candle, to take liquidity below Monday low, and then trade towards higher liquidity on the higher time frames. We also swept Monday high, right? Another reason why I think that we could be trading lower from here. So if we zoom in to the 4 hour, what are the plans? Right, we swept liquidity into so yeah, this was the ugly sweep that led to lower. So this is gonna be lower time frame supply. Prices swept those highs into that area, are currently rejecting. Doesn't mean that we're gonna reject from here, but what I'm watching here is either from here or some more chop higher and then break back below Monday high, right? What's the next draw on liquidity then? Low time frame towards Monday low and the draw towards that flat weekly low. So what am I looking for then? A sweep of that liquidity, maybe wick below the monthly open, right? Because that's the confluence you need. The monthly open resting right below that flat weekly low and Monday low. So nice confluence there. Sweep those levels into the monthly open, and from there look for strength, right? Especially on the higher time frames, look for strong closes, and then at that point I think we can safely target the highs up here. And at that point, if the weekly is looking healthy again, target all the way up here into high time frame supply at yeah, in between 97 and 106k, somewhere around there. And that will be the last resistance and the heaviest, the most difficult resistance that we need to break in order for us to move to new highs. So from there, right, closes up here, closes above February high, I would say, yeah, just long everything, going for all-time highs. If you get something like this, you sweep in there and you reject, right, at that point could return all the way into, I don't know what the chart by then is gonna look like, but yeah, probably at least towards this area again, like sub 90k, high 80ks, somewhere there. Okay, so that's my plan. So I closed my longs on Bitcoin and on Hype. We'll do Hype trade setup after this in nice profits, right? I just explained why. I think low time frames need some cleanup. Just be careful, right? Because it's often with setups like this that you're like, you want to trade the low time frame sweep, that prices extend a bit lower. So I wouldn't be surprised if we dip below the monthly open, right? Just to grab more liquidity down here into like 80k or something, and then smash back above it. And at that point, we target higher. Okay, is that clear for everyone? Bitcoin. So that's the analysis for trades, purely for trades, right? I'm looking for longs down here, somewhere in this region. If we get the dip, if we don't get the dip, right, and we start accepting back above here, that could be a nice long as well. But as you guys know, that's a scenario I like less. I like trading the sweep, so I hope we get lower a bit first. But yeah, if we get higher like this, I'm not sure I'm gonna take it long. I'm big in spot still as well, also on some altcoins, well, high cap altcoins like Binance Coin, Litecoin, those ones. So no need for me to take it on margin. I will most likely let it play out and see what we get. If we get down here, that's a nice trade for me. Okay, so clear for everyone? Seems like the bigger players are watching the stream. We're dumping already. It's a clean sweep, you know. No need to be overly bullish here. Clear as day. Beautiful. 81.5 is monthly volume area, monthly volume low area on Bitcoin? 81.5. Yeah, exactly. Nice confluence, you see. Somewhere around here. What would invalidation be? Let's see. Daily. Yeah. If you want to keep your invalidation really clear, you should keep it below these monthly lows. In my opinion, if we've got, if we're rounding here on the monthly, right, the monthly low should be in. So getting below there again, yeah, that would be a horrible sign. But anything down here, like I said, if you get an entry, stops maybe there. If your target is here, yeah, not the best risk reward up here. It's okay. What you could do is be aggressive, right, and long here, which stops there, but go high risk. And then if you reclaim the monthly open, the Monday low, for example, and you like what you see some strength, then trail stops below the low. Just be careful we don't make a low, right, then keep chopping and then sweep it again for us to trade higher from there, right? That's why I'd keep my stop a little bit wide, just in case. But the main thing I want to see here is that weekly looking better. Like, you see what I mean? Yeah. But yeah, generally, like, if the monthly lows are swept from this rounded bottom here, right? If you take this as a range low, what is the range high and what should be the next draw? Well, where did this low bounce lead to? Well, these highs. So that's gonna be the next draw on liquidity up here. So overall, we're still bullish, and any dip is a good long, in my opinion. Targeting up here, and from there even higher towards 95k. But first target would be 90k's. So I hope we get a dip. If we rip from here, so be it. But yeah, I'd like to see a dip first. Would just be healthier, right? All right, then let's continue with hype. Beautiful trade that we took. Posted in the Discord as well. Was on the 10k account. Nice trade, right? Clean analysis, clean trade. Pure technicals, right? We did all of this downside. Then from this area was the first time that we saw a decent bounce, right? Came back to the lows, swept the lows, not convincing. Then from here, from the listing on KuCoin, we swept that open quickly as well. I mean, it doesn't have to be this one, but it's about the context, right? We swept it, closed strong, and smashed back above range lows, above here, right? And that, in my opinion, was a signal for us to get long. Oops. Why? Because you had a clean invalidation below range lows. What was the whole idea? What's this? Why is... Okay. What was I saying? Yeah, so range lows got swept on the lower time frames. Well, on the 4 hour, you had this structure as well, right? Where you initially swept these range lows, but you didn't reclaim, nothing exciting, right? Just ranging a bit, broke lower, and then smashed back above, retested, built a higher low, and then reclaimed here, right? And from there, right, it was clear to me, well, of course, you never know for sure, but it was a valid trade. Invalidation below range low, below this retest is where I kept it, right? And what was the target? Opposite side of the range, liquidity above range high. Didn't get hit yet, but as I said, with the current look of the market, the weekly candles, also on hype, right? We barely had a wick to the downside, so also was a little bit concerning, which is why I closed this one as well. But as you can see, the trade still played out beautifully. For hype, I'd be willing to re-enter as well, to be honest. I think range mean is a great pivotal area, and if you get some low time frame sweep, something like this, right? Especially because we haven't swept range high yet, which means the draw on liquidity is still towards there. So if you get that low time frame sweep, liquidity is gonna be to the upside. Another big thing that I like is that we didn't sweep last week's high. On Bitcoin we just did. As you can see, last week's high swept, but on hype we didn't. So even more liquidity to the upside. So if we do something like this, right, and then at the same time Bitcoin sweeps those lows again, sweeps those lows as well, I wanted to say, this could be a nice lower time frame trade, something like this. Keeping validation below here, and look for this to trade to range highs, right? But let Bitcoin chill. If Bitcoin like really takes a nasty candle here, S&P is probably dumping as well. It's looking fairly okay-ish, I'd say. Bitcoin acting weaker than... But like I said, it's a good thing, you know? Give us that downside. Give us Monday low. Give us especially that flat weekly low, so the candles look healthier on the higher time frames, and that's when we fucking send it to new highs, new local highs at least. Right? Hype clear. Stein, hello, welcome. All right, let's continue. ETH probably. I've posted about it on the monthly on Twitter yesterday. Right, we swept monthly lows down here. I never expected this to go this low. Nobody did. Everyone was wrong. I don't think anyone called this. So there's no need to like. We just gotta trade and see what's in front of us, right? At the moment, still looking really weak. But if we get a smash above current monthly open, right? And we close this monthly in the green up here, above range lows, after sweeping this, then I could see a rotation back towards last monthly high, which is up here at 2.5k. And that's it, okay? So that's Ethereum on the monthly at least. Yeah, low time frames. See, Ethereum had that weekly as well. You can see it's not healthy, right? And it's already pulling back. Swept this high as well. Coming down already. Target the draw towards that flat. I should have traded it, honestly. But anyways, what's gonna be support? Probably this low. So lower time frames, just like Bitcoin, look for some sweep of some lows. We have some lows here, we have some lows here. Sweep those. If we see strength, then trade it back towards highs. Could be a nice trade. Of course, as you see on all charts, like it's similar plans and it's normal because if Bitcoin pumps, right, the rest is gonna pump. If Bitcoin dumps, the rest is gonna dump. It's no rocket science. So don't like long everything full risk if those areas come, because if Bitcoin decides to nuke further, then everything will, okay? But it lines up, you know, it's beautiful, so would only be healthy to take that weekly low as well, and from there we'll see, okay? But like I said, I want to see this monthly. If we close strong, then I'd be targeting 2.5k again, previous month's high. If not, yeah, I mean, send it to zero. All right, Sol, clean monthly, right? Swept monthly lows into monthly demand. Monthly demand right here. Really nice wick, swept last month's low. Last month's high is unswept. Let's mark it out. Like this. Weekly, exactly the same. Not looking healthy, right? So mark that out. So as you can see, it wasn't only on Bitcoin, right? And that's also the reason why all of these charts need some cleanup lower. In my opinion, you know, I could be wrong, obviously, but that's what I'm seeing at the moment. So for Sol, exactly the same. Oh yeah, I marked these levels out earlier today. Clean range as well, right? Range low, bounced, range high, swept, reclaimed. So what's the target on liquidity? Up here. And good thing as well, we didn't sweep this high, made an equal high. So that's even more draw to the upside. So give us that clean sweep into here. Sorry, give us that clean sweep. Of some lows into range low, lining up with demand. You could also draw your OTE to give you your invalidation in case it wicks a bit lower, right? Give us that sweep, clean up the weekly. The draw would be to the upside. So if you get that, boom, invalidation there, target up there. 1.6R, not the best, but high probability. And that's what counts, in my opinion. Okay, so watching the same for Sol. Of course, if Bitcoin decides to send from here, everything is gonna go higher. Then we'll have to see what we do. But these are the plans on trading that I currently see. Okay, Litecoin, fucking shitcoin, weakest again. Anyways, monthly dumped into monthly demand. If we can flip this monthly candle green, right, it would look awesome in my eyes, right? We have these lows right here, especially if we manage to close above, let's say 87. Yeah, then I think the draw would be towards the opposite side of the range. Like if we keep it simple on a clean chart. What are lows that just got swept? Well, this one and this one. What's the opposite side if you see this as a range of these lows? Well, these highs up here. So if these are swept and we close back inside the range, what's your draw gonna be? Up here. And that's what I'm, yeah, objectively, if we close up here, I think it will happen. And what I'm currently hoping that will happen, obviously, because I'm holding spot as well. But yeah, we'll see how the monthly closes. Lower time frames, nothing much to update. It's just ranging into demand. So yeah, let's see what it does. That's gonna be it, I think. Oh, BNB, let's do Binance. Again, monthly, key level right here. Why? High, swept as soon as it broke back below, retested on the lower time frames and sold off. Why I like this level as well? Well, it's been the level that's been holding on the monthly for ages. We've been ranging on the monthly ever since March 24, but I think if BNB decides to break out, that it can go really, really fast, and that it's gonna be thin air until 1k. So I'm holding decent spot backs of this as well. Once again, if we can flip that monthly candle green, it would look awesome in my opinion. Pump, huge pump, range. This can be seen either as a sweep or as a breakout, and this as a retest. We'll see. But if this monthly flips green, then I think we at least break out towards here, towards these highs. And then we'll have to see if it's a sweep and a nuke. Yeah, then it's probably gonna range forever. But if it breaks out and closes up here, yeah, then probably continuation and a real breakout a lot higher. Gold is insane. Still pumping. Nice. Yeah, XRP. Same thing, still ranging. Monthly low swept, flipped a monthly green, good sign. So in my opinion, higher. We failed to break down. The amount of people I saw bear tweeting this when it was like slowly nuking, like right here, was insane. So I feel like a lot of people are trapped, are still short or are looking for shorts. So I think any retest of this area is just gonna result in buying pressure that sends us towards here. Clean invalidation as well. So as long as we hold above these lows and hold this, I think range highs are next. And as you can see, great trade as well. But once again, I'll say it again, all of these plans are just focused on some downside now and then upside later in the week or next week. But like I said, it all depends on Bitcoin, right? The one is gonna outperform the other, but there's no point in risking all of it on risking 1 hour on all of these charts, because if Bitcoin decides to nuke, you're just gonna take like 5 hour stop out. So either spread your risk or just pick one, I would say. All right. Right, so that's gonna be my part. Any questions about these charts or anything else? Let's see the chat. Leave a like, by the way, if you're enjoying the stream. Really helps me a lot. Subscribe to my YouTube. I would really appreciate that. Classic New York Open pump into dump. Yeah, possibly. After pump fun drama, I don't feel good touching Solana. Yeah, man, I don't know. Like, there's reasons to be bullish and reasons to be bearish fundamentally on every coin. And that's why for me, over the years, I've just been focusing on charts. I don't know what the coin does. I don't know what it is. I've been investing, but purely for trading. Just trade the charts, just focus on the charts. And if the chart is telling you upside, go long. If the chart's telling you downside, go short. Well, if the setup's there, of course. Thoughts on the hourly equal lows at 74.4. Let's see, 74. Oh, these. I don't think that we need to revisit those, because the thing is, if you have this and you also front run a high time frame low right here, for example, you have something like this, then it's gonna be a draw, and then I'd be much more careful. But what we had here was these two moves instead, where the sweep on the high time frame itself, right below here, and then it's just another trap. So this was the original sweep, good reaction. Then we came all the way back down again, and guess what? Everyone, like, who thought that we were going to bounce from here, right? Everyone thought that we would at least get another sweep of this and do this. But instead we bounced, good reaction, strength. So in my opinion, no need to revisit these lows. Would be bad if we revisit them. Like, monthly is looking good. We're above the monthly open. Weeklies are gonna look good if we sweep those lows and get strength. So yeah, that's the best thing that can happen in my opinion. We get some downside here, fix those weekly candles, and then we see strength, and then we run it up. Maybe not that high, but at least towards here, 90Ks. All right, cool. Feel free to post some requests, and I'll try to do some. Keep it to blowfin charts, ideally. No like low cap memes or anything. If we reclaim Monday higher, we're likely sending, but then I'll have to stay flat. I don't like it. Maybe another sweep then. Like, this area is key in general. You see? High, swept, retest, and then this was the ugly ass sweep of these highs. Like, if you check on the hourly, you had these highs here, right? And these were the highs that got swept on this candle that led to all of this downside. So that level is gonna be the level to break. Let's mark it out like this. And as you can see, that's right there. So as long as we're below there, I'm cautious. And if we reclaim this, yeah, then the next target would be all the way up here. Makes sense? But for now, I think, especially because of Monday low and swept and that flat weekly low, you know, if we wouldn't have those, then I'd give it more chances of breaking above, because high time frame lows have been swept, high time frame highs unswept, so the draw is to the upside. But this is still resistance, and low time frames are unclear to the downside, which is why I think this resistance holds and we go for Monday low next. All right, requests. We will have a new high probably at some point. Tau. Monthly flipped green, weekly just flipped red, daily yeah, that's gonna be your key level right here, right? A low, initially swept, but then one more sweep, sort of like we saw on hype, but then a different time frame. Where is it? hype. Something like this, right? A low, you sweep it, then another sweep, retest, and then go. Maybe it's something similar here. It was, damn, was on the low time frames. Sweep, nothing. Sweep, retest, go. But if you compare it to the daily, can also be on the daily maybe, where you have sweep, nothing, another sweep, retest, and go. You see? But yeah, would line up. So some downsides. We have low time frame lows. Right about here. So maybe sweep those. Boom, in there, reclaim upside. Target here, here, here. Validation maybe below here. Right? Clean plans. If we break below there, below this area, like wicks in here are fine, but if we do this, yeah, then it's over. AVAX. Let's see. Oof, check. Still plans from last stream, I guess. So yeah, what I like about this one is that it has a lot of highs to the upside, so could really be a draw here, 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 and here. But once again, see that weekly needs a longer wick to the downside. So boom, boom. It's basically the same on everything. Low time frames, that would mean somewhere in here, there, and then right. S Sonic. Let's see. I have it here. Let's remove that. Monthly, low, swept, high, unswept, weekly, ugly candle, gonna be the draw, daily, clean lows here, 4 hour, yeah. Boom. Demand. OTE. Gonna be there as well. You see? So, downside. Sweep. Reclaim. Send it to the highs. Can mark it out with a range like this as well. Oh, guess what? Rejecting at range mean. Who would have thought? Range mean pivotal. That's a beautiful chart, to be honest. You like it? Did sweep these highs though, so it only makes sense to go for some, not gonna say higher time frame lows, but daily lows, right? 12-hour lows into OTE, into demand, and then higher from there. Build up that weekly. You could also wait on all of the weeklies for the weekly open reclaim. That would be safer. That could be a nice strategy as well. Like I said on Bitcoin, that you could be aggressive and with wide stops, right? And then add on a reclaim. Well, the weekly open is gonna be key as well, because that's the one you're gonna break below if you want to create a lower wick, right? So what's your confirmation that it flips bullish again? Well, if it flips green again, so reclaiming the weekly open. No need to spam, by the way. In which time frame you're gonna do the entry? Not sure what you mean. If you mean what's the trigger, well, I've talked about this before. I just like entering whenever the confluence is there, the level gets swept, and I like the charts. What was it? I was just watching. S, yeah. Where is it? There. So yeah, we have these lower time frame lows, right? We have that weekly ugly low. We have OTE and demand end range low all lining up, and we have high time frame range low swept and high time frame range high unswept. So all of those for me are enough to just pull the trigger if we sweep these lows. I don't care when, and target up there. Make sense? Curve. Yeah, this is a difficult one. I had such a nice plan on this one. I actually took the trade even from here all the way down here, targeted the high. Look at this. But yeah, I didn't hold. Anyways, it has been one of the strongest ones. So I like longs, but what I don't like about it now is that it swept the highs, like on the weekly. So there's no clean target for me anymore. So that's most likely the reason why I'll hold off with this one. You know, swept the highs, so would only make sense to test a bit lower. I don't know where. Don't really have a clean read on this one. Silver, well, I am in silver. I bought more. Yeah, and I really like it. On the monthly, it's slowly uptrending, and it's lagging behind gold, obviously. Gold, which has done this, right? I think silver will surprise many people, but I'm not sure when. So I'm just accumulating this no matter where it goes for the very long term. But yeah, I'm not trading this on the lower time frames, by the way. Although it looks pretty good. Swept lows. Strong bounce. But coming into resistance here. Who knows? I'm bullish on this long term though. Sui. Dumped on the monthly into support. Monthly low. Weekly already red. So not really the strongest one out there at the moment. Daily. Yeah, same thing. Some lows here into demand, but less demand on this one and looking fairly weak. So maybe sweep in there and then target higher, but I would pick something else personally. Can we trade silver anywhere KYC free? I'm not sure. Prime XBT has silver. You can check that out. Mara, what's that? Mana, you mean? Oh, it's a stock. I don't really trade stocks over. I mean, I can take a look, but this one. Not really liking it that much, to be honest. But it came into some support, so who knows? Swept the lows. But yeah, I don't trade stocks, you know, so there's no real point to take a look at this. Will we not see ETH all-time highs this bull run? Well, at the moment it doesn't look like it, right? So I wouldn't bet on it. Is it good to hold ETH at these prices instead of other alts? I mean, your main portfolio should just be Bitcoin. Like at least 66, so like 2/3 in my opinion should be Bitcoin, and then this part can be used for other stuff, and then Ethereum is one of them, maybe Litecoin, BNB. That's what it is for me. Doggy I have as well. We haven't looked at that one. It's not looking great either. So yeah. But why choose, right? Just if you decided to buy ETH with a portion, just divide it into multiple alts, I would say, at least, because I also had mainly Bitcoin, and then my second biggest bag was ETH, but not anymore, because I mean it didn't do anything and it was fucking weak so why would you now still, I mean, keep on averaging down, or I don't know, or keep buying ETH to make it your second biggest bag? It doesn't make sense. If it's been the weakest, yeah, then accept it, you know. I thought for a long time that ETH would surprise a lot of people out of nowhere, but it's just not coming, you know. So where's this chart gonna bounce? That's the real question. And like, it looks horrible, right? No sign of life. I thought from here maybe we would have gotten something, but yeah, just kept on dumping. So yeah, I don't know, man. Pepe. Oh yeah, I talked about this one, right? Monthly range, right? Monthly looking clean. Swept the lows, retested it, unswept last month's high, so that's gonna be the next target. Low time frames, let's see. Weekly getting swept, same thing, somewhere in here, and then up again, because you have a draw here, you have a draw here, so give us that sweep, and then validation, just keep it below range low, something like this, and there. That's clean. Let's take a look at Bonk as well. Because we liked Bonk because of all of these highs. Didn't sweep these though. Let's see. Look at this confluence. Range mean lining up with that key low. So that's gonna be key. Maybe wait for something like this. Reclaim and then higher. Low time frame. Yeah, you see these lows? Sweep and then send it higher. But I would keep my invalidation pretty wide because I could also see something like this, that it breaks below here and then continues a bit, does this and then bounces and then does this. So yeah, I'd probably maybe there, something like this. Yeah, I like this. All right, so it's definitely worth keeping an eye on the charts. Look for dips, and in my opinion, dips are for buying. We'll see how the daily closes because, like, obviously, if the daily flips red now and we close red after this sweep, like I said, it's very often that when you have a plan like this and look for a quick sweep, that the timing just doesn't really fit that well and that you close the daily ugly. And you need to know that at that point it's more about context, but a lot of people will see it as a bearish close, right? So I've started focusing less on closes, especially on time frames until the daily. I focus more on candle closes on time frames on the weekly and the monthly, because of the reason that you very often get these days an ugly close after a sweep and then just straight back above it, right? To trap people into thinking that it's a bearish close, but then you just get the bullish reaction anyways, okay? Because it in fact did sweep the level. And that's what we could get here as well. So dump, right? I don't know to where, maybe above Monday low, maybe below. Close ugly, right? A lot of people will be thinking lower, and maybe price at that point will also drop lower a bit. But then don't forget what the plan is. Monday low would still have been swept. That flat weekly would have been swept. So the weekly candles would look clean again. And at that point, strength could come out of nowhere and charts could look amazing, right? If we then flip those weeklies green again, that's the time to go heavy in longs, in my opinion. And at that point, we target a lot higher. All right, that's gonna be it for today. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, subscribe. Check out the Discord group, right? All you have to do is use the link, use the Blowfin link, make a deposit and start trading a bit. We're trading the 10K account, currently at 72K. All transparently in the Discord, you can follow along. More channels, more questions, requests, whatever you want. And there will be a Discord live stream this week, likely on Thursday. So if you want to join that, join the Discord. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.